You know what? I was going to lay down, but I saw in the news you got 10,000 people that died in the Philippines. I was told that the SNAP was cut. Um, Yesterday on the news, they was talking about the people with mental illness was not in the health care, and then now they add to the health care, which will not take effect till next year. And I stopped to think, do our leaders really think about the needs of the people? Or when they make the decision, is it all about themselves? Because the more they make decisions for everybody else, the more crap just seems to crumble. Now, if people are already struggling to make ends meet, you're not giving out cash to everybody. Why would you cut their SNAP? And I can see the justification for signing somebody up for a SNAP and they get a once a month check, and you don't take into consideration the rent, the light, the gas they have to pay, and then you tell them, well, we can give you $15 or $20. What the hell $15 or $20 is going to do for somebody who's already strapped and strained to make ends meet? I'm still trying to understand, and maybe I'm wrong, but somebody please help me. You have people, it may not be in all cities, but I know in the city, the state of Illinois that I reside in, there are people who roll it down the street with carts where they even stole people gates, their gutters. They even took manholes. Loose cigarettes is popular. And you want to stop it, but you don't want to correct what leads up to them stealing the gates and selling the loose cigarettes. Fix the problem and you can cut down on the crime. But nobody, smart as you are, think about that. If you constantly cut people's check, if you constantly cut their food stamps, if they're still unemployed, what other means are they going to have for survival besides stealing, robbing, and selling loose cigarettes? For you smart politicians, please explain to me. Because unless you fix the economic crisis that we're having, we're going to continue to have these issues that we're having. Now, I'm not saying it's going to clear it up 100%, but God dog it, you can clear up a whole bunch of it. But instead of y'all sitting down at the table and thinking maturely about somebody else besides yourselves and taking money under the table and think about the people who you are supposed to represent, we on a roller coaster ride, crashing down quick, fast, in a hurry. And it doesn't make any sense to me. None whatsoever. Now, it's good to complain about, they're stealing the gutters, they're stealing the manholes, they're taking the metal fence off people's property. Anything they can take to the catalytic converters off the cars. They're selling loose cigarettes by the thousands. But people don't have no jobs. They still have to feed their families. What do you tell a child when they're hungry? And we have a system that's supposed to assist. Now, let me reiterate again. I know people take advantage of the system. I get that. I get it wholeheartedly. But what about the politicians that's taking advantage of the system? Your check is not being cut. Your children are not going hungry. They're not naked. Neither are they barefoot. Their education is an all-time high. They don't have to worry about going to the hospital and paying the copay. They don't have to worry about none of that. When Christmas and Thanksgiving roll around, they will have a feast. Matter of fact, the mom and dad ain't going to cook. They're going to have butlers and maids to do all that mess. But what about the poor people? What about the middle class that they move down to the poor class? And what about some of the rich that move from rich to the middle class? Do y'all ever stop to think about that? You spend money on unnecessary things. But except for the things that's important to our people, legal residents of the United States, y'all can help every freaking body else. But what you need to clean up is at home, and that's something that you just don't do. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Help me to understand. You study cutting, you study taking away, but you're not helping anybody. You're not making it better. Your salaries are not going down. And how can you explain to somebody who don't have when your bank account is on overload? You can write your check. You can use your credit card. You ain't got to worry about going to the store and using your last little money to feed your family. But when you get there, you hoping and praying that there's some money left on there that's enough to make a meal just for the day. You all are blowing me. And y'all is making me sick as hell. And I don't know why nobody's not pissed off like I am. Because it's affecting a whole bunch of people. Don't you see it? Aren't you all tired of seeing homeless people on the street? We look at the news and all we hear is bad news all over the place. And people are okay with this. I don't understand. Because I'm not okay with it. I'm not. And if you're not going to do your job, as I said in other videos, give it up. And if you want to make sure that the economy grow and we get out of our buying financially, then donate half of your salary back. That's how you help. It may not make a big difference, but it'll make a difference somewhere. Let some of your staff go. Because I'm just tired of this. This don't make no sense, and it needs to cease.